de la Bay, lovely clear round. No jumping and no time. So they complete on 98.3 and comfortably some 3 and a bit seconds inside the time allowed as well. 2 and a bit seconds, beg your pardon, inside the time allowed. I would say he kept moving. He certainly didn't hang around. As next to go, it is the first of 3 rides for Leah Siegel. She comes forward with Dark Gambler on a score of 45.0. Jumped a lovely clear round cross country yesterday. Was pretty quick as well with this horse. Leah will also come forward later. Conrad P, who sits at just up. And then last of all, Watermill Giorgio sits in 12th overnight. So all 3 of hers jumping lovely clear rounds. All 3 of them sitting inside the top 30. And I have to say, Dark Gambler is the horse that has caught my eye the most this weekend. Did a beautiful dressage test. Unfortunately, just the flying changes, both very expensive. They're double marked as well, and neither of them came off for them. But there was some lovely work in that test, and he put in a really good cross-country round yesterday. She had to work hard just to get him back there for that vertical. But he's a naturally very careful jumper. Dark Gambler, owned by Andreas Rudy, by Diacontinus. And again, just cutting inside fence number 3 there. I think that will be the preferred option. If you're going around the outside, it's definitely going to eat into those seconds. Time is going to be a little bit tighter for Leah. I think she's just going to run into a spot of bother, actually. There we go. Lovely clear round. Just going to have a couple of seconds over the time. 0.4 of a penalty for every second over that time in the show jumping. And gives them a total of 46.6. So 1.6 time faults to add, but they finish on that score of 46.6. Lovely clear round, and we'll see Leah come forward a little bit later on with 2 more rides in Conrad P and Watermill Giorgio. So we'll be no worse than just outside the top 25. As now we go to the first of a couple of rides for Robin Godel, for 3 rides actually for Robin Godel. Dealer de la Bride. Robin, a 3-time winner of the Swiss National Championship division here. Grandeur de la Lie sits in a very good position once again, actually, inside the top 10 overnight. This horse, 13 years of age, by Maiden Semele, owned by Robin himself. Had an early 20 penalties on the cross country yesterday at 4A, the rail that was going into the ditch combination at 4A. But otherwise jumped a really good round. Time allowed 74 seconds, remember. It's going to be pretty close to it. I think he's just going to sneak over. But left all of the rails up. So we just 0.8 time penalties, 74.3 the total score for Robin Godel. And actually, we've had 3 clear rounds, just 2 with time penalties so far in the show jumping. We'll see Robin a little bit later on. He has Ilario de Tour in the second session, and then Grandeur de Lally jumping for another top 10 finish here. Next to go, it is the turn of Italian combination Francesco Andrea Bertaro, and it's Athena on a score of 94.3, sitting in 60th place overnight. In terms of the team standings, just Italy in 5th place overnight. This is the drop score for Italy, but actually with the withdrawal of Sarah Giulia Goldschlag, Tintoretto del Quadrifoglio, they will be actually a counting score now. So that is going to be quite expensive for Italy on the team standings, in so much as they now have to count this score as well, which includes jumping penalties cross country yesterday. It's going to drop them below France and potentially below Poland too. We'll keep them ahead of Poland at the moment. We'll give them a little bit of a tussle for 7th place. I think that rail went as well, just ran into the bottom of the vertical slightly. Head carriage just gets quite high, which makes it a little bit harder to keep the shape. Clock is good. Oh, got right into the bottom of the final fence, but jumped it beautifully. So a couple of rails down for Francesco Andrea Bertaro, and it's Athena, and they go on to a score of 102.3, but the time was good. So all of those just jumping penalties. And that will see them go just outside the top 60. Now we go to Poland, Paweł Włoszkowski and Lydell on a score of 91.5. Poland in the team standings in 7th place, but now having a little bit of a tussle with Italy. A clear round who had really put pressure on. Just the 3 riders in their team, so all 3 of their scores will count. Paweł, who rode this horse in the Nations Cup in Stragom a few weeks ago. Rode as an individual on that horse, rode a different horse in the team competition. Poland went on to finish 2nd. Unfortunately, that rail goes again. It's a tricky one so far in the competition. Clock is good. Just the last to go. Paweł Włoszkowski and Lydell. Unfortunately, the last falls too. So 8 jumping penalties, and that will take him on to a score of 99.5. In terms of the Polish team score, takes Poland on to 208.6. So they stay in 7th.
Bienvenue maintenant à Andreas Fischler pour l'Autriche associé à Valishan Cooley. Valishan Cooley, cheval irlandais de 15 ans.
We'll welcome our next competitor, Andreas Fischler for Austrian Valishan Cooley. Unser nächstes Paar hier in der Bahn, Andreas Fischler, Österreich, Valishan Cooley.
Quatrième pour le choix de Ruben Riederberg, 5e.
So our latest starter, Andreas Peikler for Austria, Balishan Cooley. Combination who were so thrilled with their cross-country round yesterday. Absolutely delighted. They did pick up one problem at 4C, but otherwise jumped a super round. Just sitting with the one rail down at the moment, so have moved on to 89.2 as part of the Austrian team. And he comes safely through the finish flags in the show jumping and completes on that score of 89.2. So Nations Cup completion for this duo for Austria. Balishan Cooley, just the one rail down in the show jumping, 89.2 their total score. And in terms of the Austrian team score, that will be 4 to add for them.
Our next competitor for Italy, Beatrice Maggi and Charlotte. Das nächste Paar hier in der Bahn, Beatrice Maggi für Italien, Charlotte.
So now we go to Italy. Charlotte Beatrice Maggi competing as an individual, so this doesn't affect the Italian team score. They come forward on 79.6. Twenty penalties at 6B yesterday, plus some time faults, brings them forward on that score of 79.6. Beautiful day in Avenches and wonderful facilities to be able to enjoy as well. And a good round for Beatrice Maggi and Charlotte 238. They finish with just 0.4 of a time penalty to add, but a clear jumping round. And Jacques Bruno's show jumping track so far proving to be pretty jumpable. Can't take any answers with the time though. I've got to give it plenty of respect. Next to go for the Netherlands, competing as individuals, coming forward on a score of 78.8, it is Jordi Wilken, Champ Van Wijs.
Welcome, next competitor, the Netherlands, Jordi Wilken and Champ Van Wijs. Unser nächstes Paar hier in der Bahn, Jordi Wilken, Niederlande. Das Pferd Champ Van Wijs.
So Jordi, Champ Van Wijs. Jordi was thrilled with his completion across country yesterday. Just picked up 20 penalties out on course. Plus a few time penalties, and the time was, as we've said, really influential. Champ Van Wijs jumped clear last time out at Royal Jump in the 4-star short there. couple of rails down in fine and Newstead. Along a little bit earlier on this season. Just got in a little bit tight to the second part of that double and it went. Clock is good. Final fence unfortunately goes as well. So the final two obstacles falling for Geordie Wilkin and Champ Van Vijs. A disappointing 8 penalties for them. Puff of the cheeks from Geordie. He'll be frustrated with those because it was a lovely clear round.
And the result for Geordie Wilkin 86.8.
So he will complete on 86.4. And doesn't affect the Dutch team score competing as an individual. We'll keep you up to date with those team scores as the competition develops. We'll start to get into the really nitty-gritty fight for the podium places a little bit later on this afternoon. It is 1:20 local time almost, as now we go to Camille Lejeune and Hero de Caffinet for France on a score of 78.2. Competing as individuals for the French team. In 54th place overnight. Another to be caught out by the triple brush skinny La Roche. A wonderful show jumper side the likes of top event horses like Tom McEwen's Toledo de Casa, the individual silver medalist from the Olympic Games in Tokyo. Certainly bred for the job. So, Camille Lejeune, just waiting for the bell to go. They might have just been checking one of the fences in the arena. Just a slightly interrupted start to his round. Camille won't be at all perturbed by that. He's a top rider, has ridden at the top level for many years. They're doing a little bit of housekeeping. There we go, Hero de Caffinet. The bell rings, so Camille Lejeune will get his round underway. On a score of 78.2 coming forwards, again competing as an individual, so this doesn't affect the French team score. Really nice job over the first 3. It's a relatively tight turn back to that big oxer. Requires plenty of scope. Of course, as we get to the top end of the placings, the pressure cooker really starts to ramp up as well. It's quite got an amphitheatre feel to this arena. A large stadium on one side. Raised ground around it. So, clock is going to just tick over the time allowed of 74 seconds too. The fences are good. Just actually had the one clear round inside the time so far. Came courtesy of Bastien de la Bay, Luc Chateau. Camille Lejeune will pick up. Meryl Blom-Hulsman next to go for the Netherlands. Lucario R on a score of 77.1. Just had 20 penalties, plus a few time faults yesterday. This grey gelding by Unicato, owned by Stahlblom Holzmann. Merrill, who's represented her country at senior championship level. Had great horses such as the Quizmaster. Great producer of young horses too. Really nicely ridden through the combination. You can see the wonderful backdrop to Avenches. Such a picturesque location. The host of next year's FEI Eventing European Championships. If you've never been, maybe 2027 is the time to make the trip. And the horse was so careful because actually got in quite tight to both elements of the double there. But really wants to leave the fences up. The clock is good. The fences looked good as well. So Merrill Blom Holzmann, Eucario R give us our second faultless round. They don't give us a second faultless round. They had a rail down. 4 to add. And that's a real shame for them. So now we go on to Guirec Lecause, individual rider for France, Milwaukee TCS, 76.8. The score that they bring forward, sitting just outside the top 50.
And we welcome Guirec Lecause for France and Milwaukee. Unser nächstes Paar hier in der Bahn, Milwaukee und Guirec Lecause, Frankreich.
Guirec, who's represented France at senior championship level, 5-star rider. Actually, good to see Esprit de la Loge, his 5-star campaigner, who missed the 2025 season, back out competing this season. Milwaukee had a late 20 penalties yesterday, just couldn't quite make it to 18B, which was the penultimate, or one of the penultimate fences, the first of the angled. Just ran in too close to the first part of that double. Unfortunately took the front part of the oxer out. Clock is going to turn red as well. And so it'll be 4 jumping. And I think probably 0.8 time faults. We'll wait for that to be confirmed. 1.2 time faults, so finishing on a score of 82, 5.2 in total to add from the show jumping phase. The next to come forward is a combination that were well placed after dressage. On Talabeg Platinum, combination that finished second at Marbach in the first leg of the Nations Cup competition this year. Was 7th after dressage on 27.1. He's a 12-year-old by Dignified Van Zorgvliet. Out of a cult hero mare owned by Michael Spurl. Just had 20 penalties at the second element of 6 at 6B, and then Julia gave him a steady spin cross country. But as you can see from their jump at the first, he's generally speaking an exceptional show jumper. 13 in a row. I'll double check that because it's some streak of international show jumping clear rounds. Julia, of course, the 2020 Olympic champion, took the title there with Amanda Bonneville. Actually took the individual silver at the World Championships in Protoni in 2022 as well. And this is a horse that is on the long list for the World Games in Aachen. One would imagine would be the number 2 behind Nickel, her Paris Olympic Games ride. And another beautiful clear round. Makes it 14 international clear show jumping rounds in a row. They stay on 74.3 and gives us a second clear round inside the time allowed in the show jumping as well. Next to go, it is Florinor Hoogland, Hontoni, combination who are here as part of the Dutch Nations Cup team. They are the drop score at the moment, so it affects the team. Combination who are extremely reliable in the cross-country phase, very uncharacteristic 20 penalties. Florinor who will be putting her coaching hat on next week because she's chef de keep of the Pony European Championship team. The Pony Europeans Le Mans in France. Just unfortunately took the rail at 2. Will drop Florinor Hoogland that rail behind Julia Krajewski. And the Dutch leg of the FEI Eventing Nations Cup will be the series final, Boekelo, the 1st through to the 4th of October. We'll have all of the coverage for you live on FEI.tv. Oh, just rather drop the hind end in that plank. And over the last. So a couple of rails down for Florinor Hoogland and Hontoni. The weekend not totally going to plan for them. 8 to add 79.9. Drops them 4 places on the leaderboard. Doesn't affect the Dutch team score. As I say, the Netherlands sitting in 3rd place. That was the drop score coming into the show jumping, so we'll go into the counting scores a little bit later on. This will be the drop score for the French team at the moment, so again doesn't affect the team score as things stand. Morgane Yeriat and Baccarat d'Argon on a score of 71.7.
Allez, c'est parti maintenant pour Morgane Euria, la 2e à s'élancer pour l'équipe de France. Qui a 27 ans, 2 fois des Européens de la relève, dont l'argent en équipe avec les Jeux Cavaliers.
This combination were 4th in the 3-star at Vittel a little bit earlier on this season, jumped clear show jumping there, and was 6th in Saumur, also jumped a lovely clear round in the show jumping. Unfortunately, 1 rail down early, does give them 4 to add so far. Work quite hard through the combination, but gets the job done. Actually, the time here is really clever because 74 seconds, it's very achievable, but you absolutely can't hang around. You've got to take the tighter lines, you've got to keep travelling. And that little bit of pressure that the course designer, Jacques Bruno, has put these riders under just is where the mistakes creep in. Clock looks absolutely fine. 74 seconds is the time allowed for Morgane Yeriat. And she clears the last. Just the 2 rails down. 8 to add in total. Gives her a 3-phase score of 79.7. So that is where they will complete the competition. and as I say, doesn't affect the French team score at the moment. So things will start to get a little bit more influential as we go through to the business end of the competition. We'll see plenty of these horses and riders at the World Championships in Aachen in the next few weeks, and actually we've got some of the future stars of the sport as well. Great to see such a top-class field here as Filippo Cinelli. Good luck. Come forward. Good luck. Actually, Avenches only hosted top-level eventing for the first time back in 2020, so in 6 years has become one of the most recognised events in Europe. Just going back towards the in-gate there, that vertical at 2 was kicked out in front. Just caught the back end of the double, the Oxer and the treble combination. We could see Filippo just actually really started to have to work hard to get the distance and just couldn't quite get the back rail. Hold their position at the moment though. Just the one rail down, doesn't drop them places on the leaderboard. And they're competing as individuals for Italy, so it doesn't affect the team score. Just going to sneak over the time allowed too. So Filippo Cinelli and good luck. We'll add 9.2 in total. And that will see them complete on 71.6. Still good enough to see them hold their position ahead of Robin Godel and Dila de la Bride. So next to come forward, it is the representatives from Spain. We had 11 different nations represented in this Nations Cup competition. 8 countries had teams in the Nations Cup competition, and then 3 riders. Czech Republic, Spain and Denmark, just bringing individual combinations forwards. Alvaro Blancatrava Centenara, Cinda Barbarosi on a score of 62.2 in 46th position on the leaderboard. It's only an 8-year-old. Cinda Barbarosi stepping up to the level for the first time. Actually came here in the 3-star division, 12. Had a couple down last time out in Pompadour. Jumped clear the time before that in Saumur. Good job at the moment, just the one down. It's always difficult when an early fence falls. It can feel like a very, very long way round. Clock is going to be tight enough, should just sneak inside. Final fence is good, and that is just the one pole down for Alvaro Blancatrava Centenara. Cinda Barbarosi, they finish on 64.2. And will finish inside the top 50. So 3 combinations to go before we are a third of the way through these combinations in the final show jumping phase. And the first of them is Patrick Grueg for Switzerland with Tabaro on a score of 60.8. Jumped a lovely clear round in the cross country yesterday, just a handful of time faults to add. Tabaro, 9 years of age by Toulon, owned by Patrick himself. Patrick, who's twice represented Switzerland at a senior championship level, had that wonderful partnership with 50-50. What can they do in the show jumping here? Tabarro jumped clear in the show jumping in his last 4 international runs. Top 20 last time out in Vittel. Stepping up to the 4-star level though this weekend for the first time. So wonderful to see these horses who had their efforts yesterday in the cross country over Mike Etherington Smith's track come out and do such a good job in the show jumping. Just going to need to be mindful of the time. 74 seconds is the time allowed. Oh my goodness me, that horse really wanted to leave the rail up at the second part of the double. Just got in a little bit tight to it. It's going to be clear jumping. Just going to be a second or so over. So Patrick Grueg will hold his position and add just a fraction of time to his total score. 61.6 is his total, 0.8 time penalties in all. And that will see him just sit below Leah Siegel, Dark Gambler, who's the clubhouse leader. She actually jumped out of order on Dark Gambler because she's still got 2 horses left to go. So we are generally speaking running in reverse order of merit. As next to go, Margherita Bonacorsi and Carlsberg PM on a score of 56.6. Combination competing as individuals for Italy, so sitting just outside the top 40. Jumped a lovely clear round in the cross country, 14.8 time faults. Just got in quite tight to that vertical at 2. It's been an influential fence actually. And then very quick into the treble combination. I think paid the price at the middle element. Three rails down at the moment. The 12 to add. Got in quite close to the first part of that double, but that actually meant that she could ride on for the second element, and then a little bit tight to the last 2, but cleared it. So just the 12 jumping faults for Margherita Bonacorsi. Carlsberg PM. They sit on a score of 68.6 now. And drop some 3 or 4 places on the leaderboard. Now we go to Denmark. Combination that represented Denmark at junior young rider level. It is Caroline Larsen with Allerup Guards Fantastique. Competing as individuals, this 11-year-old owned by Camilla herself was bred by Trina Brodersen. My favourite ask out of a Contendro mare. Contendro, the sire of the Olympic champion Fisher Chipmunk FRH. 56.0 is the score that they bring forwards.
And welcome our next competitor for Denmark, Caroline Larsen, Allerup Guards Fantastique. Wir begrüßen unser nächstes Paar, Caroline Larsen für Dänemark und Allerup Guards.
Careful at the second. And at the third, because just got in quite tight to it, but the horse really got her knees up out the way. These two are such a partnership. Know each other so well. all up the levels together. Just caught the vertical there, the plank, another to be caught out by it. Unfortunately, the final fence, it is an expensive one as well. So Caroline Larson, Aller Upgards Fantastique, finishing on a score of 68, 12 down, 12 to add in total, 3 down, 4 penalties for every rail that falls in the show jumping.
Endergebnis für Caroline Larsen 68 Punkte.
As now we go to Emily Guéron and Cybershot. Actually a scheduled break after Caroline Larson, so I wonder if they're choosing to continue on through or whether we'll see it after Emily Guéron. We'll keep you posted on that one. 14 years of age by Tourmalin, part of the Polish team here. And Poland only with 3 riders on the start list, so this will count towards the Polish team score.
Wir begrüßen unsere zweite Teamstarterin für Polen, Emily Guéron und Cybershot.
Emily, who's done a lot of her preparation based in the UK. Cybershot owned by Emily herself. Jumped a lovely clear round, just 17.6 time faults in the cross country. And a really, really nice round for Emily Guéron and Cybershot. So for the Polish team, they started on 55.2. They're going to finish on 55.2. And that will be nothing to add. So that gives us clear round number 3 inside the time allowed. 1 for France, 1 for Germany, 1 for Poland. Thumbs up to her team. Looks absolutely thrilled with that, and so she should. So as with the dressage, the stewards do check the horses coming out of the show jumping. Always to the utmost priority in just
reprenons le cours de cette épreuve de niveau 4 étoiles avec des cavaliers et des cavalières qui se lancent en individuel et d'autres qui montent pour leur pays à l'occasion de la Coupe des Nations ici à Avenches.
Welcome back to Avenches, to Switzerland, the FEI Eventing Nations Cup, and it is the fourth leg of the series. Just had a short show jumping break, and the next combinations will be due to come forward as of now. Rebecca Chiappero getting us underway with Baxia for Italy, competing as an individual on a score of 85.0. Rebecca, who's been competing at the top level for a number of years. Baxia, 8 years of age, this mare by Ladro de Chioro de Carsaggio, owned by the Clover di Alberto Bolaffi. Just had the 3 clear rounds inside the time allowed. Time allowed 74 seconds. Jacques Bruneau, the show jumping course designer here, in charge of setting the track. We had Mike Etherington Smith on cross country course design duties yesterday. Just tipped out the first part, first rail of that oxa. And he's a really clever line, that, because you've got the triple bar, which just the riders have to really move forward for. And then he gets you to sit back and wait for the plank. Clock is going to be tight, 0.4 of a penalty for every second over that time allowed. So, unfortunately, will be some time penalties to add as well for Baxia and Rebecca Chiappero. 8 jumping, plus 1.2 time gives them a total of 94.2. So, we now turn our attentions to the final team rider for Poland. And it is Joanna Pawlak and Armand de Monsieur on a score of 53.9. Their last rider, Emily Guéron, jumped a beautiful clear round inside the time. So Poland's team score at the moment is actually at 208.6.
So now we see the last rider representing the Polish team, Joanna Pawlak and Armand de Monsieur. Jetzt sehen wir das letzte Paar für das Team aus Polen, Armand de Monsieur und Joanna Pawlak.
Joanna on that score of 53.9, jumped a lovely round in the cross country yesterday. Armand de Monsieur, just 18.8 time penalties to add to a dressage score of 35.1. Looking really well, was very careful there, really got front legs out of the way. Just adding in a stride here or there, so it'll be interesting to see that time, which I think looks okay. Just the last to go. This would be another brilliant clear round for Poland. And it is another brilliant clear round for Poland. Poland getting the job done. Joanna Pawlak, Armand de Monsieur. Nothing to add for them. They stay on 53.9. And I imagine a combination we'll see next in Aachen at the World Championships. Because one of the nominated entries for Poland, their team selection will no doubt be imminent in the next week or so. I know a number of nations using this as a final selection trial, the likes of Switzerland, of Germany, of the Netherlands as well. As now we turn our attentions to Julie Bilquez, Brindorde Source, competing as individuals for France. Can just confirm the final team score for Poland, 208.6. That is locked in. So they will be no worse than 7th. Austria still have one rider left to jump. just have the 2 combinations coming forward to jump on the final day. Julie Bilquez, Brindor de Sauce, 52.8. Already having 1 rail to add to that. Generally speaking, this is a horse that's a really good show jumper. It's only had 1 rail down last 6 internationals. The last to go. Time is going to be pretty tight. Julie Bilquez, Brindor de Sauce. Just think they could sneak a time fault there. 1 rail down. 74 seconds. Just over. So 4.4 in total. They finish on 61.2. Next to go, it is the turn of Pavel Brezina, combination from the Czech Republic. Pavel with Sherin on a score of 51.1. They were 36th place overnight, competing as individuals.
And now we welcome Pavel Brezina, the Czech Republic, and Turin.
4 clear rounds inside the time so far. 1 to Germany, 1 to France and 2 to Poland. That time allowed has certainly proven to be pretty challenging, though. We've had a number of others who've left the poles up but just come away with a few seconds to add. Pavel and Tjerin. This 12-year-old, owned by Pavel himself. Czech bred. Top 10 last time out in Babarithko, and the 4-star there. Jumped lovely clear cross country. Were clear cross country at Blenheim at the European Championships last year too. Previously been 6th in Stragom. Forward distance down there to the planks, but he trusted the horse to be careful. The horse absolutely was. That makes such a difference for the clock. Just the one to go. Pavel and Tjerin. So he started on 51.1, goes to complete on 52.7, just the time penalties. 0.4 of a penalty for every second after the clock has tipped over 74 seconds. Next to go, it is the turn of Luc Chateau, Igor de Cabanes for France, 54.7, their score coming forward. Luc, who already jumped 1 super clear round with Bastien de la Bay as first in. Jumping therefore a little bit out of order in 39th place overnight. This horse, he was just a little off the distance, wasn't he? And had to really push for that middle element. Didn't quite get it. This horse has been a clear cross country at Saumur. In the 4-star long there. Had some good 3-star results last season. Generally speaking, again, a pretty good show jumper. Has been clear in his last 4. So, comes down to the last. The time is going to be pretty tight. And we'll sneak over into time faults too. So, 4 jumping. And some time to add for Luc Chateau, Igo de Cabanes. They will finish on 59.9. So that will see them in terms of the overall leaderboard. They'll just drop a couple of places, but they'll stay ahead of Julie Bilquez and Brindor Des Sources. Ster Van Hout, cross-border radar love, next to come forwards. On a score of 50.6. This 13-year-old by Diorado, owned by Janine Steentjes. Lovely clear round in the cross-country, just some time faults to add to their dressage. This horse who represented the Netherlands at the Olympic Games in Paris has got a really good partnership with the horse over the last sort of 3 or 4 years. Beautiful job through the treble combination. And this horse looking so well. It's been lovely to see horses actually having had the efforts of the cross country yesterday coming in and jumping beautifully on these incredible facilities here. So coming down to the final fence, 74 seconds is the time allowed. She's just going to sneak into a time fault or two, which is a shame. A lovely clear round. Ster Van Hout, cross border radar love. Leave all of the fences up and we'll finish on 51.4, just 0.8 to add in terms of time. And that is going to see them with a top 35 finish at worst. Still plenty of opportunity to move up the leaderboard though. Next to go, it is the second of 3 rides for Leah Siegel. She comes forward for Austria with Conrad P, sitting in 21st place after the first 2 phases. Jumping slightly out of order because the second of Leah's 2 rides, and actually Dark Gambler, her first horse a little bit earlier on, jumped a lovely clear round, just 1.6 time faults to add. Leah will jump Watermills Giorgio, her Nations Cup ride, as last thing a little bit later on. Athletically through the treble combination. Leah, who made history for Austria, highest placed Austrian rider at the European Eventing Championships last year, finished in 5th. Actually helped the Austrian team to team 5th too. Brilliant performance from the Austrian team last year. They really capitalised on 3 very good clear cross-country rounds. And this is a horse I know Leah has high hopes for in the future in terms of future team appearances for Austria. Lovely clear round inside the time today. So that gives us clear round inside the time. Number 5, 43.4 is the score she finishes on. Lovely double jumping clear for Conrad P, Leah Siegel, and they should get a top 20 finish for their efforts. Next to go, it is another multiple rider. This time it's Switzerland's Robin Godel with Ilario de Tour. They come forward on a score of 57.5. This horse stepping up to the 4-star level for the first time this weekend. Did a really good job in the cross country yesterday. Just had a handful of time faults, but a good clear round, and you could tell Robin really was giving the horse a good experience, wasn't chasing the clock by any means. Clock is going to be tight. Of course, this looks like for the future. He's given the horse such a super experience this weekend, and they'll go home full of confidence. They finish with just 1 second over the time, 57.9, 0.4 of penalty to add. And Robin Godel, we'll see him a little bit later on with Grandeur de Lally as well, who sits in 8th place overnight, key counting score for the Swiss team. Now, the turn of Nadja Minder. Nadja comes forward with Top Jobs Jalisco, 49.0. Combination who jumped a lovely clear round yesterday. Was a steady clear round. They can be fast when they want to be fast. Yesterday wasn't a day that they had their foot down on the accelerator. They did last time out in Le Moulin, finished 4th in the German National Championship division, which one would imagine, all being well, would be good enough to earn them a call up to Aachen to the World Championship. So that's perhaps why they're not featuring on the team here this weekend. Very much about giving the horse a good experience and making sure everything's working as it should be before a very important next run. Jumped 6 clear rounds in the show jumping from his last 8 international show jumping rounds. Helped the Swiss team in Marbach actually to their team performance. Ended up finishing in 4th place as a team, just off the podium. And another very good performance here this weekend. Top Jobs Jalisco looks like he might like to quite happily have another spin cross country, to be honest. Clear round inside the time. They stay on that score of 49. Nothing to add for Nadja Minder and Top Jobs Jalisco for Switzerland. Now we go to Felix Vogue, another ride for Felix. He comes forward with Frida on a score of 48.9. We'll see him with Calero as one of the last to jump a little bit later on. Felix, who has some 13 starts in this 4-star short division at Avenches since it started back in 2020. 100% clear jumping record. Clear 13 from 13. I think he's actually been inside the top 10 on every single occasion. Might be those time penalties, planned time penalties, I might add as well, with Frida. See him finish a little bit further down the leaderboard this weekend. But make no mistake, it very much looked a classy round cross country yesterday. She was his ride at the FEI Eventing European Championships at Blenheim. The middle part of the combination, unfortunately, just going. Down this final line, Felix Vogt, Frida. Felix, a 3-time winner of the Swiss National Championships here. He'd dearly love to make it 4 this afternoon. But gets the job done in the show jumping with Frida. 1 rail down inside the time. So he finished on 52.9. And we'll just drop a few places on the overall leaderboard as well. Next to go, it is the combination that won, or it is the rider that won, I should say, Olympic gold in London on his 30th birthday, in Rio. Those were both with Libya Sadiq Sam. And then in Paris in 2024, comes forward with a new ride at the 4-star level, Perseverance Funky Famous Lamborghini. On a score of 37.2, jumped a lovely clear round cross country, just some time penalties to add. It was a pretty quick round at 7.2 time. We'll see him jump with Chipmunk a little bit later on. Sitting just outside the top 10 with Perseverance Funky Famous Lamborghini in 11th place, jumping out of order because, as I say, it does have another one to jump a little bit later on. Clock looks very good. Last is gone. That was a real frustration for Michael Young. But this mare looks like one to really look forward to following in the future. 1 rail down, 41.2 will be her total score. Michael Young, Perseverance Funky Famous Lamborghini. That's a name that I can't stop saying. They are still the ones to beat as things stand at the moment. And in terms of an overall placing, they can't finish any further than 18th on the leaderboard. So we'll be guaranteed a top 20. Next it is the turn of SFS Arano, Emiliano Portale. This is a counting score for Italy as well, 48.5. So the team scores are really going to start to take shape over the next 20 minutes or so. Emiliano, who's been a regular on senior Italian teams over the years. This horse stepping up to the 4-star level for the first time. But has been really impressive, actually. Has a great run of form at the 3-star level, including 3rd last time out at Pretoni. Had a win at Montelibretti at the start of the season in the 3-star long format there. Clear show jumping in their last 4 into another to just get the last, and a time fault I think as well. But 4.4 to add, it still looks like a really lovely horse for the future. SFS Orano, Emiliano Portale have completed for Italy in terms of the Italian team score. And it does have a bit of an effect on the Italian team score too. They go on to 202.7, sit just ahead of Poland. They've still got one rider left to jump. They'll have a rail in hand to keep Italy in 6th. Next to go, it will be Christophe Vola and Gainsbourg de Bedon. Christophe, our overnight leader with Decor FRH, actually jumping this horse out of order because will be the last to go with Decor FRH and sits on a score of 30.9 in 4th place. So this very much one that can put the pressure on those that sit ahead of them in the leaderboard. It was a horse that was produced up to a 4-star level by French rider Stéphane Landois. Joined Christophe's yard last year and has been a real eye-catcher throughout the competition here this weekend. Did a beautiful dressage test for a 26.9 in the first phase. Just 10 seconds over the time cross-country yesterday. Hi, my Lord Carthago. Christophe, who's a rider that has been on the podium at 5-star level, represented his country at senior championships too. Now, would be just over a fence behind Decor FRH. Unfortunately, that rail has gone. Stays inside the top 10 at the moment. So one rail down would keep him inside the top 10 for definite. Gainsbourg de Bedon. And Christophe Vola clear the last. Time is very comfortable. And they might have had one rail down today, which is going to take them out of podium contention. But even so, this looks like a one to really watch for the future for Christophe. 4 penalties in total to add. They finish on 34.9. And they will be no worse than 6th on the leaderboard. Still those ahead of them left to jump. Victor Levesque next to go. Fair Lady des Brocs Scala Patrimony by Upsilon. This 11-year-old who was our pathfinder on the cross country. Put in a lovely clear round for France. 47.9, their dressage and cross-country score combined sees them in 30th place on the leaderboard. Coming into the show jumping. Unfortunately, fairly early rail at fence 2. Really uses her neck to jump. Victor very carefully just got her back off that plank, using his body, sat and waited for it. Time is okay. I think he'll just sneak inside. So one rail down for Fair Lady des Brocs Scala Patrimony and 51.9. The total score for Victor Levesque. Now we go to the last of our Italian counting team scores. Victor's round in the show jumping. Actually, we should give you an update on the French team score. France on 178 now. That score's just not quite updated, so now it'll be 178.3, sees them in fifth. Fairly comfortably ahead of Italy, still have one rider left to go. Great Britain, the team that could push for a podium placing depending on how the show jumping plays out. Now though, we go to Paolo Mario De Simone, Parker D, on that score of 47.5. Accommodation completed the 4-star long at Royal Jump a few weeks ago. Clear cross country in Stragom at this level to start their season. Show jumping wouldn't be a phase that this horse always finds the most straightforward. But doing a good job so far. Just the one rail down at the moment. It was a little way off the triple bar, now has to sit and wait for the planks. And would be a big horse as well, so found that the distance in that double tight enough. Time is just going to prove to be a little influential as well. So one rail down plus some time for Paolo Mario De Simone and Parker D. They started on 47.5 coming into the show jumping. I'll add 4 penalties to that rail down, then a bit of time. 52.3 is their total score. And in terms of the Italian team score, it should be good enough to just keep Italy ahead of Poland. It is. There we go. That is confirmation. Italy locked in on a score of 207.5, Poland 208.6 in 6th and 7th at the moment, Austria back in 8th, still with one rider left to jump. Now this is the last of the French team riders. Loise Le Guen, Dakota Denath on a score of 46.7, has a good buffer back to Italy. It would have to have a fair disaster for France to fall down the order here. They're on 178.3, Italy just behind them, 207.5. Still yet to see any of the counting scores jump for the top 4 teams on the leaderboard. Dakota Denath did a super job in the cross country yesterday to sit as highest placed of the French team riders at the moment. Clear of the last, and thing might have just snuck inside the time, this 13-year-old mare, owned by Natalie Jacob. Was on a score of 46.7, so just that one rail down does sneak inside the time. And they go on to 50.7. France lock in their team score. And their team score will be 182.3. So France will finish no worse than 5th. They will add a minimum of 60 points to their team score. So they will go on to at least, as things stand at the moment, 220 points at the top of the leaderboard. Most likely will retain their series lead going into the next leg, their home leg in Lignières. Now we go to Saint-Dion. Enjoy for the Netherlands, 44.9. And this combination on a score of 44.9 season, 26th place overnight. it is at the moment counting score for the Dutch team. So this is really important to stay a little bit ahead of Great Britain, notably to put the pressure on Germany. They've got 2 fences in hand, the Netherlands ahead of Great Britain. They're just over 3 fences behind Germany. They'd dearly love to finish on the podium here. This combination was super cross-country yesterday. Pretty fast clear. So far so good in the show jumping too. This would be a big round for the Netherlands. Big round for Sanne de Jong heading into World Championship selection as well. And it is a clear round. Nothing to add. She stays on 44.9. You can see the smile. Was it of relief? Was it of joy? Probably a little bit of both. But the Netherlands stay on 113.3. Great Britain still just over 2 fences behind them in 4th. Now it is the first of our Swiss team riders. It is currently the drop score for the Swiss team. Angelique Dubac and Philin Deschenant on a score of 44.5, sitting in 25th place overnight. Again, jumped a great round in the cross country, just time penalties to add. Swiss team made up of Melody Jona, Felix Vob, Robin Godel and Angelica. Again, this combination, one of the long-listed combinations for Switzerland for the World Championships in Aachen. It's their final trial, the Swiss team. There's a lot at stake. Just the last go. Clock is good. Fences are good too. She punches the air in delight. What a performance from the young Swiss rider. She looks absolutely delighted with that. She points down at Philin Deschenant. So thrilled with the way this horse has performed in all 3 phases. And a brilliant, brilliant job. Switzerland, it doesn't affect their team score at the moment, but it does get them a clear round on the board. So now we go to individual combination for the Netherlands. Aliane Reuter and Velumani Tess on a score of 44.0. Sees them just inside the top 25. Can't afford a rail down to now hold that top 25 position. We've had a couple of clears that have really put the pressure on. Would be again one of the long-listed combinations for the Dutch squad going into the World Championships in Aachen. Completed at Royal Jump in the 4-star short a little bit earlier on this season. Jumped clear cross country actually in Stragom. Again, wouldn't be a phase that this horse always finds the easiest. But so far, have been doing a really good job. Clear as they come to the final line. Just the one to go. The clock is tight enough, but she wants to leave the rails up. Oh, she just saw a bit of a long distance, and the final fence went. Aliane Reuter, Velumani Tess, 1 rail down to add to what has been a great weekend of competition for them. So just a frustrating final fence falling. And that will see them finish on 48. The time was okay in the end. So 48.0 the total for Aliane Reuter. Next we go to Caroline Harris for Great Britain. Leicester CKV, 43.9 their score. Great Britain only with 3 riders coming forward in their team this weekend, so all of them are to be counted. They had 3 super clear rounds cross country, 3 pretty quick clear rounds as well. It's a really exciting young team of horses. Caroline, of course, a 2-time 5-star winner, trains in the show jumping with Jay Hallam. And she knows what it's like to jump under pressure. She went in as last to go at Longines-le-Moulin with D-Day. Jumped the most immaculate clear round to take her second 5-star title. And when you consistently put yourself in those sorts of situations, I think the back rail just went there, it did. The bank of knowledge and experience will only grow. So in terms of the British team, they're comfortably in 4th. They've got a good buffer back to France. France are locked in on 182.3. Great Britain now on 126.6. They've just given the Netherlands another rail in hand, is essentially how things look at the moment. Lovely clear of the last, so just the unlucky rail down in the middle of the treble combination for Caroline Harris. Leicester CKV, they're going to finish on 47.9 and just sneaking inside the time. So that sees Great Britain on currently 126.6, still 2 riders left to go. The Netherlands on 113.3 in 3rd with 2 left to go. We've still got all of the German riders left to jump, and all but 1 of the Swiss riders. They lead the way, 93. So still 20 combinations left to show jump here. It's a busy facility, the National Equestrian Centre of Switzerland. That is how the team standings are shaping up at the moment. Still to see all of our team riders that are counting scores for Switzerland and Germany. Netherlands and Great Britain both have 1 locked in. So next to go will be a combination as MAF, but this is the individual standings at the moment. These are those that have jumped. Christophe Fowler leads the way. Gainsbourg de Bedon. We haven't seen Decor FRH yet. He will be the final horse to go. Perseverance, Funky Famous Lamborghini for Michael Young sits in 2nd. And of course, they left to go. They will be coming forward in this final session of show jumping. We've got a short break now, and we will be back with you very, very shortly. You won't want to miss it. Of the FEI Eventing Nations Cup here in Switzerland. Do stay tuned. We'll be back in just under 10 minutes' time.
4 étoiles qui va reprendre une épreuve avec à la fois un classement individuel, à la fois une Coupe des Nations et également le titre de champion de Suisse à la clé pour les Avenches. Pour l'instant, associé à
To Avenches to kick off the 20 competitors in the FEI Eventing Nations Cup fourth leg of the 2026 season. Things are going to start to really hot up now. We've got a few individual combinations, but we've got the final team riders for a number of the leading nations in the team standings. It is Pauline Nor, Avenches MAF, who get us underway. 43.9, sitting in 22nd place individually. Can't afford a rail down to hold their position on the individual leaderboard. Doesn't affect the German team score, of course. Combination also long-listed for Germany for the World Championships in Aachen. Unfortunately, just the one rail down so far, dropping them down the order. The second fence that fell. Clock looks good. And the final fence looks good as well. So Pauline Nor, just the one rail down, goes on to 47.9 with Avenches MAF. And now completes inside the top 30. Next to go, it is team combination for Great Britain. Jack Pinkney, Carpo Vivendi on a score of 42.1. Jumped a really good fast clear for the British team yesterday. Went out as pathfinders. And just 10 seconds over the time. Jack, I know, was a little bit disappointed with his dressage score. A couple of uncharacteristic errors which just kept them from scoring the mark that they were perhaps aiming. But this is such a nice horse for the future. And Jack has done a super job with him all week as well. 11 years of age, 10 years of age even, owned by Sarah Brown, by Ars Vivendi, out of a cougar mare. Great Britain in fourth on the team leaderboard. Actually 3 rails, now 4 rails behind the Netherlands in a podium spot. Just again caught the same fence that actually teammate Caroline Harris had down as well, just didn't quite make the back rail in the treble combination. So just the last to go. The clock is okay, takes longer to get to the last than you think, and pops that with no problems whatsoever. So just the unfortunate one rail down for Jack Pinkney and Carpo Vivendi. We'll see them finish on a score, in fact 2 rails down. Another one came down as well, according to the live scores here, and so that will be 8 in total for the British duo. They finish on 50.1. Next to go, it is the individual combination for Switzerland, Dana Goll and Dulcinea Dominica on a score of 41.5. Just double checking the team standings after Jack Pinkney's round. Great Britain's score yet to be updated. So we'll confirm that for you. But Great Britain looking pretty comfortable in 4th spot. And now on 134.6. But just giving a little bit of breathing room to the Netherlands, who still have 2 of their riders left to jump. Dulcinea Dominica just looking pretty keen. .41.5 sees them sit inside the top 20. And just ran down to that vertical, and actually it was a good job that the horse was so careful because got right underneath it, but wants to leave the fences up. Just doesn't always make Jaina's job the most straightforward, but actually is doing a superb job of being careful. It's costing them a little bit of time to set up though. Clear of the last, and looks to be inside the time too. So Donegal, one of the loudest cheers of the day so far, with Dulcinea Dominica. Nothing to add. They finish on 41.5. Will be guaranteed a top 20 finish. Next to go, it is the first of the German team members. It is the drop score for them at the moment. Antonia Baumgart and Rita Tarm, still on a very competitive score of 41.4. It's 11-year-old by Adagio de Tarma. Rita Tarm, lovely clear round, 12.4 time faults in the cross-country yesterday. Can't afford a rail to stay ahead of Dana Goll. Can't afford a time fault to stay ahead of her either. And that has gone. Remember, this doesn't affect the German team score at the moment. Really have to open up for that triple bar, then sit back and wait for the planks, and unfortunately just caught that behind. Won't be the first to almost lock onto that vertical at 3 at the end of that line. So 8 jumping so far for Antonia. Clear over the last. The clock is good. So it will be 49.4 as a total score for the German combination. And it doesn't affect, as I say, the team scores as yet. So they drop a few places on the leaderboard. The clubhouse leader is Christophe Waller, Gainsbourg de Bedon, ahead of Michael Young, Perseverance, Funky Famous Lamborghini in second. Now, though, we go to Desiree Schmidt and to Fairy Tale B for Switzerland, competing as individuals, so it doesn't alter the team chances here. 41.1, sitting in 17th place overnight. Fairy Tale B, 16 years of age, this mare by Roven, owned by Desiree herself. Fast cross-country round yesterday, just 10 seconds over the time. Really went for it out over Mike Etherington Smith's cross-country track. Second fence has gone. Just had to work quite hard to get that turn back to the Water Tray Oxer at 3. So just coming down to the last. The clock is absolutely fine. She can take a pull, take her time here. 74 seconds the time allowed. Just the one rail down. Desiree Schmidt, 4 to add, goes on to 45.1 with Fairy Tale B. And that will just drop them down the leaderboard slightly. Could still just sneak into the top 20 as we head into the last 16 to go. First of them, Vanessa Bolting, ready to go NRW, individual combination for Germany on a score of 40. Had a dressage score of 29.6, that left them just outside the top 10 in 12th. 10.4 time faults cross country, moved them on to a penalty score of 40. 14 years of age by Rock Forever, owned by Hubert Hermersmeyer. So, Vanessa Bolting. Still to see our top 3 German team riders. That will affect the team score. Ready to go. Gave the first plenty of airtime. And the second. 74 seconds the time allowed. Has proven to be influential enough as the day has gone on. Ready to go. Jump clear in 5. Her last 8 international show jumping rounds. Had a win at Wiener Neustadt actually in the 4-star long a little bit earlier on this year. Just the final line. Pretty much guarantee themselves the top 15 finish here if they can jump the last. Clock is good. Fence is good too. Vanessa Bolting ready to go. Gets the job done. Another brilliant performance. Gives us clear round inside the time number 9. And they will stay on that score of 40. So goes second behind Gainsbourg de Bedon. Pushes Michael Young, Perseverance, Funky Famous Lamborghini down into 3rd. Next to go, it will be the turn of Tamara Acklin, Heritage Stella Locato for Switzerland. As an individual, 39.8 sees her inside the top 15. This 10-year-old by Latour, owned by Tamara alongside Pierrette Glutz. Combination did a good dressage, 31.8, then 20 seconds over the time cross country. First part of the combination goes. And unfortunately the back rail of 6 as well. Just need to steady the ship somewhat now. 2 in quick succession. Should stay in the top 25 if they can get home clear from here. But over the final fence and completes Tamara Acklin, Heritage Stella Locato, 8 to add in total, 47.8 their total score, and does cost them some 9 places on the leaderboard. Next to go, a young lady with a very big few weeks ahead of her. It is Germany dominating the top of the leaderboard at the moment, Christoph Vanessa and Michael Young. We still have plenty of their big names to come, of which this lady is very much one of them. Larissa Lübecker, Academia FRH, 37.6 their starting score. in 14th place after dressage and cross country, and the first of the counting scores in the German team. On a score of 37.6, did a lovely dressage for 26.0, just some time penalties cross country. Did look like there were some planned time penalties as well. One would imagine this combination, who've been top 10 at 5-star, part of the selection for Aachen. So would have probably looked at it as a final preparation run. This is the final trial for the German team. This duo have definitely proven themselves at the very top level, including at Marbach earlier on this season, where they were part of the German team that won the Home Nations Cup leg. And Labissa actually big week ahead for her, because heads to Mill Street, was selected with Darcy F for the Under-25 World Championships. Unfortunately, a couple of rails falling here, and that is going to be costly for the German team. Has it opened the door for the Dutch? Last stays up. The clock is good, so 8 to add for Labissa Lubekamp and Karemia. And that will see them go on to 45.6. So drops them down the order somewhat. Now it'll be interesting to see what this does do for the team standings, because it will have given Switzerland a good deal of breathing room. They now have 3 fences in hand. The Netherlands, Germany still do have a rail in hand ahead of the Netherlands, and the Netherlands have 2 riders left to jump, as do Germany. First of all, though, we go to the dressage leaders. They jumped a lovely clear round with some planned time faults in the cross-country yesterday. It is Julia Krajewski, Ulzina Znickel, the German national championship winners. Always looked like the handbrake was half on yesterday in the cross-country. Wasn't about taking the top tier, but rather arriving in Aachen. And Julia already jumped 1 lovely clear round with Tullebeg Platinum. Nickel her ride at the Olympic Games in Paris. Just hits the back rail of that Oxer at 6. Well, almost came down on the back rail of that double Oxer as well. Clock is good, just the 1 rail down for Julia Krajewski and Ulzina Znickel, and they will finish on 41.3. In terms of the leaderboard, it will actually see them just drop a couple of places. Vanessa Bolting ready to go, NRW, just actually moves up, as does Michael Young, Perseverance Funky Famous Lamborghini. So next to go, it is a 3rd and final ride for Leah Siegel for Austria. This time she forward with Watermills Giorgio. 37.3 is her starting score. Leah already jumped 2 super rounds so far.
Austria and Watermill Giorgio. Wir begrüßen Watermill Giorgio und Leah Siegel, Österreich.
Leah, who with Van Helsing P jumped that beautiful clear round at the European Championships last year. She's a rider that we've seen win Nations Cup legs previously. Just holding for the last. The time was good. She could afford to hold for the last as well. And the Austrian number one is in flying form ahead of those European Championships. Another lovely clear round, 37.3. And the time was good as well. Gives us clear round inside the time number 10. So Leah Siegel and Watermills Giorgio confirm the Austrian team score, and that will now be locked in at 326.5. Now the turn of Yasmin Ingham, the reigning world champion, comes forward with Kinda Corvette for the Sue Davis Fund and Jeanette Chin. Corey, as he's known at home, did a super job cross country yesterday, just a few time faults to add. Great Britain, who currently have 100 points on the board for their win in the opening, the second leg of the Nations Cup series. At Bichten on home soil, Germany won the opening leg on their home soil of Marbach. Just taking a slightly wider line there, Yaz. She kept moving, but it'll be interesting to see how that affects the clock. Horse very careful over the planks. So Great Britain on 100 points, and it's a slightly new field, the FEI Nations Cup Series this year in terms of the points, because teams looking to qualify to put a team into the Nations Cup final at Buccolo, whereby the scores will be reset to 0. And a lovely clear round from Yasingham. Kinda Corvette will finish as best of the Brits on their score of 36.6. And will be guaranteed a top 10 finish as well. So Great Britain will lock in 4th or better on the leaderboards. 134.6 is their total score. And some 5 fences behind the Netherlands, so a podium is perhaps out of reach, but who knows, anything can happen. Now we go to Germany. 108.4 is their team score. They sit in second behind Switzerland. It is Arne Bergendahl, Bronco NRW, on a score of 36.5. In 9th place coming forwards. By Blockbuster, owned by Suzanne Dorner. 8.4 time to add to their dressage yesterday. They were inside the top 10 after the first phase and actually stayed inside the top 10 to come into the show jumping too. This is a counting score, remember, for Germany. This horse, one of the long-listed horses for the World Championships in Aachen. And things didn't go to plan for this duo last time out at Le Moulin, so very much with a point to prove here. They were top 5 at Buccolo last season. They're normally very good in the show jumping phase. They've been clear in their last 7 internationals at least. And look likely to add another clear to the record here as well. Beautiful round from Arne Bergendahl. And Bronco NRW, nothing to add. They finish on 36.5. So 36.5 is going to see them inside the top 10. They go second behind Christoph Fowler, Gainsbourg, de Bedon. As things stand at the moment, we've still got plenty of big names to come. Now we go to a combination that have won the Swiss national title here on 3 previous occasions. It is Robin Godell and Grandeur de Lally. Actually took the individual win in this class back in 2024, I think it was. Robin Godell has 3 Swiss titles to his name. Felix Vogt has 3. Grandeur de Lally, 8th place after the first 2 phases. We've already seen Robin on a couple of occasions this afternoon. He's jumped 2 rounds already. Always a bit of an advantage. Even if your horses are different, you get a feel for the time, you get a feel for the distances. Grandeur de Lally, 18 years of age now. What a horse he's been for Robin over the years. Owned by Jacques Fumfleching. Can he put the pressure on Melody Yona and Felix Vogt in the Swiss National Championship race? Can he put in a clear round for the Swiss team? Yes, he can. Robin Godell, Grandeur de Lally. How lucky we are to be able to enjoy this wonderful horse. How much he's done for Robin in his career, and how much he loves this venue as well. Grandeur de Lally guaranteed a top 10 finish, finishes on 35.8. That was his 2-phase score coming into the show jumping. Adds nothing to it. Switzerland, in terms of a team, stay on 93.9. They have 2 riders left to go. Germany have just 1 rider left to go. Now we go to Splinter Bergsma. The 2 Dutch riders left for the team competition come in the next 2 horses. Splinter with a Vigo Key SR on a score of 35.1. The Netherlands looking for a podium finish here. And in terms of what they need to do, they're on 113.3. There's a bit of a gap back to Great Britain, 134.6. So they've actually got 5 fences in hand across their 2 combinations to guarantee themselves a podium finish. The Dutch would dearly love to put the pressure, though, on the Germans as well. They produced some very fast rounds in the cross-country yesterday. Just got to get the horse back for the planks. The horse came back to him very well, respected those planks. Just the last to go. Clock is okay. Oh, the final fence falls. Oh, disappointment for Splinter Bergsma, but that was still a very, very good round, and it should still be good enough to see the Dutch just strengthen their position in terms of the team third at the moment. So 1 rail down for him personally, drops him onto 39.1. And that will see him just drop a few places down the leaderboard, some 4 places down the leaderboard. Robin Godell moves up. So, in order to guarantee the Dutch a podium finish, Gillian Giesen, Seattle Park, must have no more than 4 fences down. I don't know whether she'll know that. She obviously wants to put herself in a really strong position as well. So she'd love a clear round, of course she would. Seattle Park, who was produced in Australia by Sophia Hill, actually raced a good bit in the early part of his career too, but has retrained into the most wonderful event horse. Gillian took on the ride a couple of years ago. They were just a handful of seconds over the time yesterday, 8 seconds in total. Owned now by Lip Stables Associates. Oxer at 6 has proven to be pretty influential, in fact. The team position is okay. Doesn't need to worry too much. Has just given Germany a bit more breathing room. But just wants to get safely down this final line. Just the last to go. Barring disaster, the Dutch will take third place at worst here. Clears the final fence, home through the finish, just the one rail down. It'll drop her down the order slightly individually, might just see her outside of the top 10. But 37.3 Gillian Keeson will complete on, and actually that locks in the Dutch team score to 121.3, and the Netherlands are guaranteed third at worst. So I think Gillian will actually just secure a top 10 finish individually too. Can't be any worse than 9th. Now we go to the Olympic champions from Paris. It is Michael Young, Fischer Chipmunk FRH combination that won the Nations Cup at Marbach. Helped the German team to victory there. Actually competing as individuals here this weekend. Was second after dressage, steady run cross country, a few time faults. Just drop them down the order slightly. Very much feel that this was a preparation run for the World Championships in Aachen. This horse has achieved so much in his career. Highest rated horse in the world right now, according to the Echo Rating Zelo, 939. Holds the record finishing score at 5-star too. Was at Defender Kentucky a few years ago. The planks have gone. So just caught the tip of a toe. And another rail is gone as well. So 2 down for Michael Young so far. And over the final fence. So Michael Young, Fischer Chipmunk FRH, 2 rails down. They complete on 39.8.
To the final score for Michael Jung and Fischer Chipmunk, 39.8. Endergebnis für Michael Jung und Fischer Chipmunk.
Christoph Wahler, 34.9 is the score to beat. We've 3 left to jump. The Swiss national title is still wide open. Robin Godel currently leads that. But the 2 to go next, Felix Vogt, Calero, Melody Yona, Erin, could both take the title themselves. So we start with Felix Vogt. This is a counting tour for the score for the Swiss team. Switzerland on 93.9. So they've got a bit of a buffer back to Germany, 108.4. They've got 2 horses left to jump. Calero, who has helped Felix actually win this Swiss national title here. Won this class back in 2020. Finished second 12 months ago to stablemate Cartania. Felix actually knew he'd taken the win when he came in to jump with Cartania last year. 18 years of age, Calero. Wonderful to see a few of these older horses coming and looking so good. Oh, saw a bit of a flyer to the triple bar. But the horse, he trusted him to be careful at the planks. And over the final fence. So Felix Vogt, Calero. What a horse this is. What a rider Felix Vogt is as well. Just the 1 pole down. And he is still the one to beat in the Swiss National Championship race. Does give Melody Yona a rail in hand there. So, 2 to go. For Switzerland, they currently sit on a score of 97.9. Melody has 2 rails in hand ahead of Germany. Germany, of course, still have 1 left to jump. But she has 1 rail in hand of Felix Vogt in order to take the Swiss national title for the first time in her career. First is gone. So, Felix Vogt, Melody Yona, straight shootout for the Swiss National Championship title. Melody still in the driving seat here, has got to jump clear. From here on in. The oohs and ahs of the crowd. Felix has taken 3 national titles in his career so far. Melody looking for her first. And there it goes. Felix Vogt wins the Swiss National Championship. Felix Vogt takes the title for the 4th time. But she still needs to get the job done now in terms of a team competition. The team are on 105.9. She cannot afford another rail down to keep Switzerland ahead of Germany. Yes, Germany still have 1 left to jump. But the last is important. Melody Yona to secure Switzerland the win. Yes, she's done it. Disappointment, I'm sure, in one sense, because she was so close to the first Swiss national title of her career, but she has helped her team to a Nations Cup victory on home soil. And Melody Yona and Erin help lock in 105.3. 105.9 is their total score, Switzerland. They have guaranteed the win, regardless of what happens now for Christoph Wöhler. They can't be beaten, so it will be a Swiss victory once again on home soil. But it's a national title that goes the way once again to Felix Vogt. He is the one to beat, 33.8. And actually, Christoph Wöhler has a rail in hand to take the win here. Comes forward with Decor FRH. It's just 3 seconds over the time yesterday. It was one of the fastest of the day, I think the 2nd fastest of the day. This horse had a bit of time off at the back end of last year, at the start of this season, but is back, I would imagine, in time for a championship tilt in Aachen. That 26.3 is his score at the moment. As I've said, he can have 1 fence down to secure the win. 2 down, it goes to Felix Vogt. If he can jump clear, then it will be a huge high performance rating, because that would be some victory, beating some very good horses. Germany 108.4. He's got 3 fences in hand of the Netherlands, so again, barring disaster, Germany will guarantee themselves 2nd place here. Just the last to go. Christoph Wöhler for a commanding victory here in Avenches. The last goes, it doesn't matter. He takes the title anyway. Decor FRH, the winner here in Avenches. Christoph Wöhler tops the podium. And 30.3 is the score on which he finishes. Brilliant performance from the German combination. What a day, what a weekend, what a competition we've enjoyed here in Avenches. It's been a proper roller coaster, a real 3-phase test. Switzerland, though, will come out on top. They take the Nations Cup leg on home soil, defending their title they won here last year. 105.9 ahead of Netherlands, making their season debut, will get big points in third, 121.3. Great Britain just off the podium in fourth. France, Italy, Poland and Austria. But that is how the team standings. That man we've just seen jump a brilliant round in the show jumping. Unlucky to have the last down. Could have been an even bigger win margin, but he gets the job done. 30.3. Felix promises to be a phenomenal competition. In terms of the team competition here, Germany will add 90 points for their second place. Finished in fifth here. Do check these official scores, by the way. This is very quick mental maths on my part. But France will the series. Germany, though, closed the gap, now on 190. So, to cap things off, a win. Christoph Wöhler, 2 on the podium. But it is Decor FRH who takes the individual title. And Switzerland on home soil, led by Felix Vogt, taking his 4th Swiss National Championship title. They take the Nations Cup win here in Avenches. Do stay tuned. The prize giving will be live shortly. But from us here, bringing you all of the coverage, we do hope you've enjoyed it. And thanks very much for tuning in.